Boom. There we go. Yeah. What's a huge issue is that I don't do enough of these in person, I think. And so I don't get a good rhythm down. And there's all these weird little technical issues. I wish if the podcast got big enough, it brought in enough money through Patreon that I just started. People could check that out. I got my first patron. But if I had stuff like that where I could hire like a producer, someone that actually just sat there and ran the show itself, and we had like a studio, or even if it was a spare room in a bigger apartment or a house or something like that. Something where it's permanent, so I don't have to worry about like the technical issues. Because there's like, oh, this one wire came loose, or oh, this one, whatever.
It also would be cool to like just be able to come in and have a conversation, like for you, like you wouldn't have to do any of this stuff.
Yeah,
like casually just come in and be like, all right, well, we'll turn the computer on, and now we're ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't have to like transform my living room every time I want to do a show.
True.
Which is, I've got it down, but it's just not convenient.
I just freaking smoked the heck out of that thing.
It might be coming loose.
Smoke with a bone. Yeah, I think it is. It's hard to puff.
Yeah, these backwoods do that sometimes.
Backwoods be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't really smoke blunts very often.
Yeah, I do too much.
But boy, when I do, they get me high.
So what are you watching, man?
Man, on TV?
Yeah.
Alone. Well, I haven't finished Stranger Things yet. I don't know. Do you watch that?
I don't.
Man, that's real good.
Even people back home are like, why aren't you watching this? It's about Indiana.
It's up there. It's probably I'd put it in like top 5, top 6 shows I've ever watched.
I'm just not into the supernatural stuff.
I love it. I'm not like super into supernatural stuff, but because it's different, it's fun, it's like creative. I liked how that show is extremely creative. It's cool because I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Because shows are getting so repetitive now, like, which kind of weirdly enough scares me. Because in like 50 years, what the fuck are we gonna make shows about, man?
Well, there's always going to be new ideas, but I think what happens is we get in our own rhythm. We've seen so many good shows that we like. It's easier to rewatch one of those than to like start another one and be like, well, you only got to put a season or 2 in, then it gets really good. And it's like, do I really want to commit?
Does that just mean we're getting old?
I might have to watch Mad Men again.
Fuck, if you do, I swear to God.
I haven't seen it in months.
You turn on Mad Men like I turn on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Got such like a good background show for me, or The Office. Like I've never watched The Office start to finish, ever.
That sucks because you don't really get the full storyline.
I know. I should probably do that, huh? Maybe I will.
Yeah, I started rewatching Alone. Actually, it's kind of random. We talked about Alone on the last podcast.
It's a cool ass show.
It's a good show.
I tell people about that show because it's very like. That's as raw as you're going to get a show to be, like, for survival stuff.
I was thinking about it, too. I was like, dude, they do to these people kind of like what ISIS does to prisoners before they execute them. They put them on camera so many times that they don't think that this is the time that it's going to be, like, the last one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's because it's like every time they come out, there's always a camera crew, there's always whatever.
Yeah.
So they get so used to it. Yeah. For people that don't know, the execution videos, the reason that people always look super calm in those videos is because they pulled them in front of the camera like 20 times, pretending like they're going to execute them.
Yeah.
And doing the exact same thing. So they think it's just another time, and then they actually kill them.
God, those videos were rough there for a while, huh?
They put a dude in a cage and like burn him alive.
Yep.
Like a Syrian pilot, or not a Syrian, but some pilot.
Yeah, that was fucked up. I watched
Iranian.
that. Kind of wish I didn't watch that. There was one where they ran him over with like a tank. They like tied him up and then just put a tank in front of him and just ran him over.
They were doing some fucked up stuff.
Like that, dude. That's fucking disgusting. They drowned. Remember they drowned a guy?
Yeah, in a cage, right?
Yeah. God damn, they done some fucked up stuff.
How you gonna win the PR war doing that stuff,
dude? That's that nasty shit out there in the world. That I'm like, there's some nasty shit out there, dude.
Yeah.
Like right now, 2022, like nasty shit's going on. Which again brings me full circle back to everybody just needs to stop. We got a good thing going right now. I don't have to worry about that happening to me in my lifetime.
I hope that part of the podcast makes it through the cut.
What?
We had so many issues, they may not know what you're talking about.
Oh, fuck.
How good we have it with our phones and stuff.
How good we have it in America right now with our phones and everything. Especially, like, technology is fucking sick. How much... I always appreciate how much... Because I've grown up away from my family for, like, 12 years now. Since I left Illinois. So I've grown up with my family over the phone, over FaceTime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that's what I do now, So that's thank God I'm able to do that. Because how much shittier it would have been to try to connect with your family. Like imagine when there was just phones, like where you can only make a phone call to your mom, or even like
remember when you had to memorize phone numbers?
Yeah, or even like imagine back in the day when they were like writing letters and shit to each other. How much different it would have been. Thank God we can do all this cool ass shit we can do right now.
Time changes too, because like writing a letter, if you got it in like 5 days, that's like lightning compared to somebody 100 years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
true.
They would look at that like us looking at comparing like letters to email.
Yeah.
It'd be like, holy crap, I can't believe it got there. That's almost instantly. It's all relative.
Yeah, man, we got it pretty fucking good. And that's,
I think so.
I'm pretty stoked that I don't have to worry about getting like burnt alive in a cage.
Dude.
If I get pulled over, I know, like, think about how much of shit we take for granted. Even like, you get pulled over, I know that he's not going to say, give me $500 or I'm going to, like, if you get pulled over in Mexico and shit, they're all crooked. All of them are. My friend that lives down there was telling me that the reason that they're so crooked is just because they pay them like shit. Like, they get paid like shit, and a lot of it's cartel.
Yeah.
But he was saying, like, when he lived in Chile, the police officers down there made, like, 15 grand a year or something stupid, 20 grand a year. Like, they get paid, like, next to nothing. So they have to, like, be crooked and take money and, do all that shady shit to stay alive.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about any of that shit for the most part. I mean, there are maybe your ones and twos cops that are shitty.
Well, yeah, they're still...
But you're never going to... Like, if I call 911... I'm going to get some, like, there's things set in place that people did for me. How shitty would that be if you couldn't do that?
Well, I mean, that's kind of becoming the situation in some places because crime's so bad.
Yeah.
And they're not prosecuting people. So police are like, I'm not even going to respond to that. Or it's not a priority because all we're going to do is ticket a guy for smashing a windshield and smashing a window and stealing everything out of the car. That's a ticket, and then let him go. Like, why even?
God, that's stupid. So you just let him do it?
We're also, you and I have a different perspective too, because we came from the Midwest, small towns,
Yeah, like where this wasn't a
towns,
thing. We didn't have any homeless people in our town.
Come into the city. There was like one guy, but I don't even know if he was homeless. We called him Can Man. He drove around. He rode a bike around getting cans out of like all the fraternity trash cans, because they had all the beer cans. But someone was like, he's actually like a multi-millionaire, but he's just like neurotic. He's just like, there's something wrong with them. So we never knew if he was actually homeless or not.
I don't think, man, maybe we had one.
Your town's way too small to have homeless people.
Yeah, they die. Like nobody would give you money because they'd be like, yeah, you're homeless.
It's like, I can give you a job.
Yeah.
Come work on the farm.
Yeah, I got to detassel the corn.
Done that.
That's yeah. So growing up when there are no homeless people, you get so used to it. Like when my mom comes out here, she's like, she forgets. Like, oh shit.
It becomes part of the landscape for us.
Yeah, like I see a tree the same way. I'm like, oh yeah, there's
this guy smoking crack.
Disgusting. Like how by Balboa Park down there.
Yeah.
They just fucked it all up, dude. There's just tents and shit and trash and like.
They've tried to move them all to one area over kind of by the zoo.
Yeah. So, but what if you live over there?
I used to take my dog and kid over there, and now we don't. We used to climb one of those trees over there, and now we don't because there's homeless camps.
Yeah, but I pay for that, and I can't use it. It's like when they fuck up the sidewalks and they fill the sidewalks full of all their shit. Like I pay for the sidewalk so I can walk on it. Why is your shit laying across the top of it so I can't use it? I can't use something that my taxes go to pay for. That's fucked.
And if you fuck with it, you can actually get in trouble because it's their property.
That's so fucking stupid. But what can they do about it?
That's California, man.
What could they do about it?
They won't fix that, but I remember getting a ticket downtown because my wheels weren't turned to the curb far enough. They weren't cramped against a curb because it was on a hill.
A hill, yeah.
But it wasn't even like a steep hill. And I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
But I'll watch a dude shit in an alleyway.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whatever.
Yeah, dude, there's been some batshit crazy ones. I think Lacey and I saw one dead once. I was like, that guy has not moved. And he was like laid out like, he just looked dead. And for
It always makes you wonder, right?
10 minutes, then we went somewhere and came back, and he was still laying there like 2 hours later in the same exact spot.
Just laying in the sun.
And I'm like, dude, I wonder. And he had a big brown jacket on that was, you know, when it gets like, you know, your camis would get like greasy almost when you wear them for a week. His everything he had on that greasy shine to it. That's like fucking gross, man. There's a lady who hangs out next to the Starbucks that I go to, and I can smell her from 10 feet away. You could just whiff her like piss stained body, and I'm like, at what point? Because like, remember in the field you'd get used to being like smelly. You're like, oh,
you don't
shit.
even realize how bad.
And then you
smell.
come back and someone's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when you're around like clean people, you're like, Jesus, I smell like ass.
Yeah, or like if a clean person comes around, you can smell like their detergent or whatever. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
what's someone supposed to smell like? But I can smell her from so far away, and I wonder if there's just a time where you just stop. It's just normal to you.
Oh, it's got to be. Well, I think it's just that you just don't care anymore. All these people are on fentanyl.
You think?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff, but I bet that's like a huge thing because it's cheap, right? I think that's what I've heard on the news. It's like $5 or something. Or
yeah, I watched the thing.
I have no idea, man. It's horrible though.
Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do with them though? Like, what's the end goal for that? How do you? Because you got to fix them, right? I mean, homeless people piss me off, but at the same time, it's like we got to do something with them.
The reason that we can't like just jail them or whatever, or put them in a home, like a psychiatric place, is actually because of Ronald Reagan stopped that during his time as governor here in California. Because it was like the point was like, one, why are we funding all these state-run hospitals that have super bad like reputations, like it's known that they're not being treated well and stuff like that. And then two, what right does the government have to decide that you are a psychiatric issue and that you need to be put in a hospital? It should be like a doctor's thing. But
can't they direct them to a doctor? Can't that be part of like a process?
I would think, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't get it, but there's an industry behind it. People make a lot of money being in a nonprofit that works with the homeless people and shit like that. They make a lot of money. One of the most gross things I've ever encountered, like ethically or professionally, I guess, is I remember when I was at Miracosta, one of the students, I volunteered to be on the school paper to do photography. And one of the students was supposed to interview one of the vice presidents of the school. And I remember the student, for whatever reason, knew all about her and was just like, oh, I love you, you're so great, blah, blah, blah. Like, literally. And I'm like, that's not how you're supposed to interview somebody. Like, I told her afterwards, I'm like, we'll have to work on your interviewing skills. But after they were done and we were just kind of talking, the administrator was like, oh, you should get into nonprofits. It's a really lucrative industry to get into. And I'm like, that just sounds so gross, the way you just said that.
Yeah.
Like, it would be like, oh, it's a really good thing to get into because you're helping people out. Would be like an appropriate thing. But it was straight up like, oh, it's good money. It's really good money. That's why you got to look, like, if you're donating money to something, you got to look, because they have to register, as a 501, I think it's 501c or whatever. They have to register for that. And so because they have to register, they have to disclose their finances every year. So you can look and see, like, oh, the dude running this gets all the money. He spends like $50.
Where would you go to see that?
You'd have to look it up. I don't know. It's public record, though. You'd have to look up their corporate records, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking wild. Isn't Newsom's
I'm pretty sure about that. I'm pretty sure they have to disclose their finances.
Isn't Newsom like isn't he attached to because he dumps how much money into the homeless industry? What do you need, a lighter?
It's in your pant leg.
Sorry.
Doesn't
God damn, I'm high.
Newsom what?
Doesn't one of Newsom's family members run the homeless?
I have no idea.
We just pump so much goddamn money into it. Kind of the same with like my taxes and stuff here. Why the fuck are my roads still so fucked up?
13.5% tax.
Fuck.
We got a new gas tax on July 1st. Other states are waiving their gas taxes. They're like, hey, this sucks. You guys are paying a lot. California, people talked about it, and the super Democrat majority was like, no, We have a new tax. July 1st, baby.
God damn it. Yeah, it's unfortunate
California,
as fuck.
man.
Why do you think they do that, though?
I don't know.
Like, what do you think the reason behind, like, being, like, a bad person is? Like, being in person of power and deciding to
They
make
don't think
things
they're
that
bad people, though. They think they're good. They think that they're using the money. Because the money's supposed to... Here's my thing, man. I wouldn't mind paying taxes if I felt like the money was being used for something good.
I agree.
But it's being wasted. We see it being wasted.
But why waste it? What's the benefit to being stupid? Like, I know that's a dumb question, but, like, what's the benefit of doing what they're doing? How is it benefiting them?
Well, think about it. If you're like an activist and you become a politician and someone wants to build a road and you're like, well, we have to do a study on this. We have to put together a commission to investigate this, make sure environmental is good, this is good, all the different things are good. So now you got to hire all these consultants to come in, and you're paying all of them to come in and do research and study this and see if whatever the plan is feasible. Well, if you're in one of these industries and you go become a politician, then you can sit there and hire all your buddies to come in as consultants, and you're paying them a lot of money. You know, they're making a lot of money to make decisions on everything, and everything in California is wasted.
Damn.
Minimum $30 billion wasted of fucking unemployment fraud. Billions of dollars wasted on that fucking train they were going to build that was going to go from like San Francisco to LA or some shit. And they got one leg of it done. It was like way over budget, everything. It was like supposed to be some kind of bullet train. Wasted. Just, I think that's what most people are just fed up with. It's like, we don't mind you spending money, but when you're wasting our money, or you're making decisions that are making us pay more for no real reason, then the thing that's changed now is, like, compared to like our parents and shit, is we have social media and we have so much news that politicians can't really get away with stuff because someone figures it out. Someone's like, oh, look, Nancy Pelosi's husband is trading all this stuff at the same time she's voting. You know, oh, look, you know, people, they start seeing it and they can't hide it. The major news sources cannot cover it, but that doesn't matter because people are going to talk about it on Twitter. People are going to talk about it on fucking Instagram. People are going to talk about it on TikTok, YouTube.
Dude, but when's it going to change?
I think the change is happening. I think people are seeing it and being like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, I don't really care who's in office, but, like, let's quit voting in old ass people that are ripping us off.
Literally.
Like, everybody talks about candidates and they're always these old ass people. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You want Trump to run? He's going to be 80.
Yeah, he's going to be old as fuck.
Do we really want an 80-year-old? Is that who I really trust?
I like his kid. Junior?
Oh, yeah?
I think he's a decent guy.
I know nothing about him.
I just know for, like, watching him.
I know the left hates him.
Of course they do.
So I would like someone that is not completely. I know they're going to hate on whoever.
That's the shitty part I'm talking about.
Whoever gets picked is going to get drugged through the mud and looks like they're the worst person ever. But I would like to start with someone that we all can agree is like a good person.
Yeah. Yep.
And I just don't know if Donald Trump's kids are good people.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? There was some like business deals and stuff while he was in office too that they were involved in, but I don't know the extent of it. You know what I'm saying? So the same people that, like, while he was president were complaining about what his kids were doing are the same people that will also say that, why do we care about Hunter Biden? You know what I'm saying? They're like, why that's not news. He's not elected. And it's like, then why did you care so much about what, like, the Trump family, all of them were doing?
Yeah. I mean, if you were to, I always just think that, I know that they're fucking crazy because if you were to put Donald Trump in Big Joe's position right now, they would be fucking dragging, he'd be impeached how many times now? Like, if the shit was going on with Joe and his family and the way he acted, was anybody else but Joe Biden was a right-wing guy, the media would be fucking destroying him every day. So it's not his actions.
Turning. I mean, even
slowly.
He has almost the worst ratings of any modern president. He's lower than Trump. His approval rating's like 32% on like one of the most recent polls. You know, his is pretty fucking low right now. And even Democrats are like, we need someone else. You know, like, we still want the Democrat platform, but we don't want Biden because he's
done. It's like a human.
Every time he gets on camera, he fucks something up.
I feel like it's getting worse.
Oh yeah, it sucks, man. It's like
because imagine his brain. He's got to be like, fuck.
Because even if you don't like the guy, like you don't want the country to suffer because he's a fucking moron. You at least want him to be able to do the basic shit so that we're all better off. You know what I'm saying?
Even when he got voted in, I did not want him to win, obviously, but when he did win, I'm like, well, I'm not going to hope the worst for you because that means the country's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you do good. I hope you prove me wrong and like, oh shit, you were actually awesome. And dog, you're doing the fucking opposite.
I just think he has. Jesus, we're back.
We're back.
You were talking about Delta 8. So are you smoking some random shit that someone gives you that may not have some weird chemicals on it?
Oh, so, well, dude, to be honest, maybe. I mean, it's in a package. It's in like a same package you'd get like weed. So it's like, I think it's regulated somehow.
No, it's not.
It's got to be.
Did you do bath salts? Were you one of those people?
So, no.
Remember when people were taking bath salts and like eating people's faces off?
Yeah.
We're like, dude, this is turning people into zombies.
Yeah. It's like I think what they did with it is they like remember Jack 3D the pre-workout. It was like illegal, it was banned, and then they would just change a molecule and it'd be legal for a while. They'd change a molecule. Pretty sure that's what they did with this weed. Is that Delta 8 maybe is the molecule that they changed or something, but it's just one molecule off, I think, of regular weed. So like the THC isn't in there. There's Delta 8 is what is getting you high. That's this component that's somehow in the weed. I don't know how they do it, but that's how they get away with like people like Ski I think smokes Delta 8. Or he did. He tried it for a little bit because he was waiting to get his card or something like that. So it's like a normal, it's what people over there smoke to get high. So I took gummies. I took a couple edibles before I flew to Philly. And it was fucking nutty.
That probably wasn't fun, right?
So I think what it was, it felt like the first time I ever took an edible. Because it was like, I think it's because my body was like the first time ever being high in Delta 8. So my body was just like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, it's a
got
Delta 8 edible?
Yeah, so it got me super high. Super fucking high.
What if it was actually fentanyl?
Yeah, it'd be nutty if yeah, but I wouldn't think that like a smoke shop would sell fentanyl.
No, that's true. You would hope not.
That's what I'm saying. It's regulated somehow. It's not like...
I don't think... No, man. That's like when they used to be able to buy those like energy pills at the gas station. Those weren't regulated, somewhat. When they came out and they're like, hey, no ephedrine. They did what you're talking about, and they like changed the molecule, to make it where they could still. I remember in high school in weightlifting class before weights, I would take. I used to take the old school Zenadrin, and it had ephedrine in it, and I didn't know. It was like a energy booster weight loss kind of pill, but we took it to like lift more.
What's ephedrine?
It's like something that gives you like a lot of energy, but it's banned.
Is it bad?
Yeah, it's bad for you. It's not good. But we're all high school kids taking it, like, well, not all of us. A couple of us did. And we'd go in, and I knew one kid. I'm like, I remember I would take it, and I'd be in there like, ooh, get a good pump, get lift, whatever. And then my next class was English class where I had to write. And it was all shaky because my hands are shaking so much from the ephedrine or whatever, the Zenadrin. And then, so they banned that one and they changed it. Then it became like a new formula. And then, just like all of them, Jack 3D was like that. What's that other one? It's got the yellow and black.
C4?
C4. I think C4's had more formulas than one.
I wonder if that, like, I always think, what are going to be the side effects?
Jack 3D was popular for a long time in the military.
Yep. I remember Jeff used to take a little half scoop before every run in the morning, and I'm like, dude, that's nuts.
Dudes would be like, did you get your pre-workout in?
Yeah, because that's why I heard from Jack 3D. It was in Okinawa in like 2011 is when I had first bought it. And it was like the big thing where this one's the legal brand or like Marine Corps approved or, DOD approved or whatever.
They know their market.
Yeah. I wonder if there's going to be some negative side effects.
Oh, for sure.
Of like
exploding
that we find out from because there's like not enough data maybe right now. But in like 50 years, when people who've been taking it like our age are now dying, I wonder if there's going to be like some.
Like what happened?
Because like when I drink energy drinks,
Monster and Jack 3D did them in.
It's like Monsters say like 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0. It's like what the fuck is in here that's making me so energetic? Like what? How are you doing this? And it has all that list of just the crazy ingredients. They're like what are those? Why is that one in there? Like why?
If you can't pronounce it, it's probably not good.
Probably right.
Probably.
I mean,
I don't think that'll have it because that's alcohol. So that's different. That is regulated. You know?
You had moonshine before?
Yeah.
It's like fucking gasoline.
Oh, it's not good. People are like, there's talk about good moonshine, and none of it's good.
Man, my friend made some.
It's rough.
And they put cinnamon sticks in it and let the cinnamon sticks for like weeks in this thing. And the cinnamon like kind of took out like, you know, like that harsh, like what makes moonshine taste like shit, like the flavor like that. It took out the flavor of the moonshine, but left in like the potency of it. So like it was still like a shot of alcohol, but nothing like what moonshine is. And they did another one with cherries, and it was kind of the same thing. They put a bunch of cherry syrup in it and a couple cherries, and it was pretty good. But moonshine will fucking...
That'll do you in.
Yeah, for sure.
Back in Indiana, you can't buy it here, but in Indiana, you could get... what was that grain alcohol called?
Ethanol?
No. It was like you could go to the liquor store and buy it.
Spirits?
It was like 150 proof.
Oh.
It was something crazy.
Did it have a black label on it and it was like a clear plastic bottle?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Everclear.
Everclear, yeah.
Everclear.
Yeah.
So we would get a half a pint, or maybe it was a full pint of Everclear, and mix it with 1 gallon of Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah.
And that was the drink. Sometimes throw in like a 2 liter of Sprite.
Yep. Yeah, give it a little carbonation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to call it like jungle juice.
Yeah.
There's another name we called it.
There's so many versions.
And it literally was just a bunch of high potency alcohols.
But Everclear, man. Anytime you saw someone bust out Everclear, it's like, ooh.
You're getting after it.
Someone's never had this before, and they're about to have a bad night.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if that's something...
And you can't really taste it.
That shit'll kill you. Well, it's like moonshine.
I mean, like when you mix it with all that shit.
Oh, it makes it way better.
It makes it like totally drinkable.
Yeah.
We'd put like gummy bears and shit in it. Just stupid stuff.
Big sugar ass drinks.
Just fucking stupid.
Stupid. Good times.
God damn it, we used to party.
We used to have some crazy parties back when I
guess we still do.
Well, now you just go to bars.
Yeah, I miss a good house party, man.
I was just talking to my buddy the other day. We had this place called the Clubhouse, and it was just awesome. You know, I was 18, senior in high school, had a couple months left, and I moved out. And because a couple of my buddies asked if I wanted to move in, and me and my mom got in an argument about something stupid. And she's like, if you want to stay out with your friends all night, then you need to move out. You know, not being serious, but not also knowing that 2 of my buddies just asked me if I wanted to move in with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So like 2 weeks later, I moved in. And this just became like a party house. And it was it was on the edge of the county line, city-county line. So it was technically in the county. It was back off the road, probably 25 yards, 30 yards, with like a couple big trees between the house and the road. On one side, there was an apartment building, but it was the back side. It was a solid brick wall, like a 3-floor wall. And then on the other side was another house, but they were up on the road. So we were back, you know, like I said, 25 yards or whatever off of it. And we would just have huge parties. We started having so many parties there that it was like people would just show up on the weekend and be like, are you guys having a party? And we're like, well,
might as well.
We'd go get a keg and then just have a fucking great time.
Yeah, that was fun, huh?
It was a good time, man. We had some huge parties, but it sucked because the 5 of us that lived there, we had all these random people that would show up.
Yeah.
We don't know any of them, which was cool and bad because there's always the shady people that fucking show up. You know, that's how I ended up getting arrested the second time. But it was just like, we didn't know anything. We didn't know that if there's like a leak, you can just tell the landlord and they come fix it. We thought we had to pay for it. So we don't say anything. You know, and this house that we moved into was abandoned by the people that lived in it before. So they were like, hey, if you guys clean it out, then there's no security deposit. And we're like, all right, cool. And whoever lived there, like, literally moved out with like family photos on the wall, and, like, food, and there were mice and shit. Because behind the house there was a big field. We had a barn in the back, and we had like a 2-acre field in the back. And so there were like mice from the field that had gotten in and stuff like that, and which we got them all out within like a couple days. But dude, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Country living is so much fun.
There was a pump out back. And there's like a little pump house, you know, that's over the actual pump.
Yeah.
And one of the pipes burst. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's going to be expensive. but the water in the house still works, so fuck it. So this pipe is just out there running. Just filling that well house, which is like probably 10 yards behind the house in the backyard. And one day we start getting water in the basement. And then, dude, the water gets up to like ankle level in the basement. It becomes standing water. We're morons. We don't know anything. Ugh. I remember the power going out, and then we're like, all right, paper, rock, scissors on who puts trash bags on their feet to go down and flip the breaker while you're standing in the water. You know, like a bunch of dumbass kids.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Great times. And then we started, from there, we moved over to Purdue and just started partying over there. And then going to the bars and shit when we hit 21.
House parties are just...
good time.
It's like you get to party with none of the douchebags because hopefully the majority of them are you're friends with. That's why you're there, you know? At the bar, you're just like, well, any random person can come here, which is fun, but it's also not as fun. And it's cheaper to go to a house party. It makes more sense.
Well, plus, if you're talking like a house party like of people you know, you can just go up and talk to people. Oh, Bobby's here. Oh,
Yeah,
blah, 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 here.
true.
Go to a bar. It's just a bunch of random people.
Yeah, you're not lying.
You're just going to, you know, sometimes you talk to random people, but
Yeah.
it's just not the same.
He says it's just not the same.
But how can you have house parties as an adult? You know?
If you're successful and famous and rich.
Just have them all the time. No worries.
None.
I don't have to worry about getting up to go to work tomorrow. What?
What is that?
That's what my workers do.
That's what my workers do.
Yeah. They're like, I don't do that.
Yeah, that would... I just love a good party. I really do. Something about it is just... Zero responsibility is what I really enjoy.
Just everybody relaxing
Yeah.
and having a good time.
You're like just enjoying life.
Just a
You're
good
like, all right,
vibe.
this is cool.
I think every time we go to Firehouse over at PB, that's always a good time.
Always.
That's always like a good vibe. There's like a good mix of people. There's good
Yep.
music. You know, like something like that. When you get to some of these places, remember the basement over in Oceanside?
Oh.
That sweaty little dance club.
Oh, God. Was that the one that have the
Was that
rooftop above it?
Yeah, it was underneath that.
Yeah, Z used to go there all the time on like Wednesday nights.
You would just like open the door to go down there and you'd feel the humidity come out. And it was like, ooh.
Yep. Z used to go down there so much, dude.
There's a lot of bad decisions happening down here.
Oh, and everyone was so sweaty. All
Because it
the
was
girls
a
were
sweaty, dark dance club.
like, dude, 85% of the girls were like chubby Latinos with like upper lip sweat really bad because it's so fucking hot down there.
Ugh.
And Z loved it. He was it was like his spot.
Then Firewater was the other spot.
Ooh, we've had some fun there for sure.
Oh my God, dude.
But it's like grungy.
It's a different kind of like weird,
Yep.
dirtiness compared to the basement. Like the basement I thought was like bottom. That's it. That's the bottom. That's the grossest bar in downtown Oceanside. I don't know if it's still there, but
I don't think it is. There's the Pirate Bar too, but that bar it's just grungy.
that's just chill. I go in there and
Yeah.
play foosball. There's a foosball table in there. Just saying.
If anybody's listening.
If anybody wants to challenge me, let me know.
I met a guy, we were out at Kettner Exchange the other night, and we met a guy.
I like Kettner Exchange.
Yeah.
Super
Love
nice.
going there. Love the drinks are so good there. One of my good friends, Anthony, is the bartender there. And we drank all night there, me and a couple people, and I left with a $15 tab.
Nice.
And I'm like, thanks, dude. Hook it up.
Nice
Always.
hook up.
Yeah. The food there is fucking amazing. But we went, why did I say that? Why was I talking about Kettner? We went to Kettner. Oh, and then we went to this place called the Silver Fox in PB.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like downstairs, like in a basement, basically. It's not like dirt. It's a dive bar, but it's like a fun, packed dive bar. I don't know how to explain it. It's like one of the OG bars, I think, maybe, or like a older one.
It's got to have like a Cheers vibe.
Yeah, but it's also like there's pool tables in there, and there's a good amount of people in there. The people that are usually in there are usually cool. They're like a mixture of like locals and like...
That's like Cantina.
Hell yeah.
And Carlsbad.
Hell yeah.
I love going in there. That's like a hole in the wall. Like no one really knows about it for some reason.
And there's always a bunch of cool people in there.
There's a good mix of like, you know,
The
our
layout's
age,
good.
younger. Like the layout's good. If you get a seat, if you get one of those booths, it's like perfect.
We should go back.
Yeah, we need to go up there.
We need to do an Oceanside evening.
I went up there and had lunch with Burton like a month ago, or well, maybe it was a couple months.
San Clemente?
Cantina.
Oh shit, he lives in Carlsbad?
No. He was up in San Clemente, but he, you know, works down wherever on base, which isn't too far away.
Oh, he's still
I think
in.
he may have moved. Oh yeah, he's still in. He's a company man.
He used to work in San Clemente, or he used to live in San Clemente, I thought.
Yeah, up in the officer housing up there.
Ooh.
Yeah, then he moved for school, I think, and then he moved back, and now he's moving again, I believe. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, that's a good spot because the vibe's good, the music's good, the drinks are good.
Yeah, you know what? Kettner's amazing. Let's go back to that. I fucking love that place.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Oh, damn.
But last time I went, it was real nice.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Like if you do like a dinner and drinks and all that.
Any nice spot downtown, though, is. You have your even your average places. Like I remember one of the first bars I went to, I think, was like Whiskey Girl or something like that when I was like back in MOS school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like $14 for a mixed drink or whatever? But that was like, you're in the gas lamp. It's just a touristy, drinky, downtown drink area.
I feel like they're always, even at like, have you been down to, you haven't been there yet. So the same guy that owns Kettner, owns Firehouse, he just opened up a new one called, it starts with a C, I can't remember, but it's down, the airplanes fly right over it. It used to be this, used to be this Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
So you like sit in there's like an indoor to it, and then you go outdoor. The architect's really cool. And you're like outdoors, but you're indoors. Like there's no roof, I don't think. Yeah, there's no roof. But he owns that as well, and it's the same thing as like Kettner and it's like a Kettner and Firehouse kind of mixed together. It's a club.
A good roof bar is awesome.
Especially
if you can see the sunset.
And the planes go right over the top of you. Like
That's
they're really low because it's right before they land.
Yeah.
So every like 7 minutes or so, there's a big ass plane that goes over the top of you.
Anybody that hasn't been to San Diego doesn't realize that you're like, if you're downtown, like in that part by Little Italy and stuff, it's just right over your head. They're like following the terrain of the buildings to land in downtown San Diego.
Yeah, man. I just wish that, I shouldn't say wish. I hope that San Diego remains the same. And like everybody moving from LA and they're trying to move down here. Like, I hope it doesn't ever turn into not what it is now. I don't think it ever will.
It obviously has that opportunity to do that.
I don't think, man. I just think that there's too many people here that are just not.
Well, if the homeless problem keeps growing and stuff like that, then it's going to be like an issue. I think it went up like 40% or something like that.
Damn,
which
really?
Is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Where they all come from?
All over. Places that are like, no, you can't do that here. They're like, oh, well, I'll just go over to San Diego. They give you free lunch and stuff. And like, here's a phone. Here's the benefits. Yeah. But so there's no real house party like vibes. Well, I guess like those cantina and stuff like that is kind of like that. What about you went out to what was that music festival?
Coachella?
Yeah, Coachella.
Coachella was cool, man.
How was that?
Literally the best time of my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Top like 10 experiences, I would say. Just like a fun. So like every day there's like 120,000 people there.
Yeah.
That's a fuck ton of people. I mean, it's a large area, but 120,000 people all doing the same shit.
So is it only crowded like when you're by the stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get out, you're walking from different, so everything's themed like African themes. So there's like the Sahara, there's the wow, I'm stoned. I can't remember any of the fucking names. But there's like each area, each stage has a like a different DJ playing at it, or a different set, or a different type of music, but all like EDC, EDM kind of centric. Mm-hmm. And Coachella made this super nice app. I don't know where my phone is at. So you go on the Coachella app, and if like you're there you can either pick first weekend or second weekend. You pick second weekend when we went. It tells you each day and what times everybody's playing at, and at which area they're playing at. So you open up the map, and then you click on like, well, who do I want to see today? I want to see this person, this person, this person, this. And it sets reminders for you 10 minutes before they go on and where it's going to be at. So you don't even have to worry about like, well, where should we go next? You could plan it all out already.
That's cool.
Dude, it's so cool. And it's very like seamless the way like some places have apps that just don't fucking work and they're dumb. This one works perfectly. And it's so many people. It's 100,000 people all on, for the most part, that's probably crazy. 80% of them on feel good drugs. So you're on some sort of mushroom or LSD, or you're there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And everybody's just having a good time. I didn't see one single fight. I didn't see literally none.
No issues?
No issues, not a single one. And everybody, there's just so many of you too. So there's this place there called the Do Lab, and the Do Lab is like this gnarly, like those big triangle sails that you can put above your backyard for like sun.
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of different colored ones that make this giant like ball basically that you can stand underneath. And they played like hard, like heavy bass hunter song, like just a lot of like bass and but you go there and you're just all fucked up, right? And you're just surrounded by hundreds of fucking people, and then you can easily get out of that. And there's like sit down parties everywhere. You'll just be walking and there'll be a group of 10 people just sitting down in a circle. Like you could just tell they're either fucked up or they're just having a good time. And it's like, fuck yes, dude. And you're there for 3 days. For 3 days, no responsibilities, no nothing. You're just trying to have an experience. So it's kind of like whatever you make it. Because that's the whole point of you being there, is trying to have an experience like through music. And it's just the funnest shit ever.
What would you do different? Like if someone's going for their first time, would you camp?
So you
try to find a local hotel.
When you camp, that's like you're in it. Like you're camping. Like you're living the camping life. It's fucking hot. You're sweating.
Are there campers?
So yeah, you can either get a camper section, which they sell out pretty fast.
That'd be sick.
You can rent campers out there, but they sell out super fast. You can just straight up camp, but you just got to know it's gonna be hot. Like they bring showers out in the morning. Like imagine a big a semi truck trailer that has a bunch of different individual showers in it. They'll do that every morning. You can go shower, but there's almost no point because by the time you walk back, you're gonna already be sweating.
It'd be like being on a big training exercise.
Yep.
Where they have all the like logistics like that, where you have the shower trailers and stuff.
But to say what I would do differently, so we got a hotel. This hotel that was right outside of it sucked. We got it super last minute. It's like an Indian reservation. So poorly done. The doors broken when I got there. Like the lady at the front desk couldn't get a hold of anybody to get me a different room because it was on her personal phone. She didn't have there was no like work. It was the most like poorly put together. I'm like, you can't just do this. You can't. My door's broken. I can't even get in.
It's a last minute hotel.
But you like if I'm gonna pay $100 something, I can't remember. We paid like $150 a night. You gotta. There's not a person I can call right now, and you're telling me you can't give me her number because it's her personal phone number. I'm like, well, where the fuck is the person on duty? What happens when someone's room doesn't work? What do you guys do? What's your backup plan? Mm-hmm. You're an establishment. Get the fuck out of here. So anyway, we didn't end up staying in a hotel. We met these super rich guys that lived right down like 6 minutes away. He grew up in his parents' house. His dad's like an eye doctor. So we stayed with them for free. At the end of the stay, we gave him $250 for because we had the jacuzzi on for 3 days straight, just partying for 3 days straight with them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they provided everything, drinks, food, and they were so cool. And we stayed in their guest house.
That's crazy. You just meet someone like that.
Yeah, and they're super good people. We're still friends with them. Now, Lily, the girl who we went with, she goes to see him, one of the guys often, to just go party with him because they live close to each other in Boston. So it's like now we've made like friends around. How cool is that?
Nice.
That's another great aspect of Coachella. You meet so many fun people and so many cool people. What I would do is if you're going to go to Coachella, I would obviously try to get an Airbnb early. Get like a dope Airbnb, get like a group of people, because then you're still looking at probably the same price individually that you'd pay for a hotel, or if not cheaper.
But nicer.
Exactly. But people book those Airbnbs out like a year in advance.
Yeah.
So if you can get a good Airbnb, that would be my first step. You're going to Uber. There's just so many Uber and shit there that's how you get to the festivals is Uber.
Do you think it'd be worth it to do the VIP tickets?
Yes. That was my second point for sure. It's not a big deal about like having to like getting in and getting out. It doesn't take long if you're not VIP. It is way easier and faster to get in through VIP because I think there's different entrances that are just easier to get through. It's faster. You're not like standing in line, but it's really not that long that you wait anyway. If you had to leave Coachella and come back in, you're talking like 15 minutes and you'd be back in.
But don't they have like lounge areas or some shit that you can hang out in?
They got lounge areas. They got their alcohol is so like, dude, waiting for a drink, you're talking upwards of, you could be waiting in line for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Like you could wait for a long fucking time. Mm-hmm. So that's much better. And your just amenities and shit are better. There's like buckets with ice and shit, or water and shit everywhere.
How pricey is that though?
It's double the price. You're paying like $1,200 a ticket. Ooh. But it's a 3-day. If you're going to have an experience, you're already understanding. Like going to Coachella, I knew like I'm probably gonna spend $1,000 here, if at maximum between alcohol, stay, whatever, dude. Because you just kind of have to like get the money thing out of your head. You're going there knowing it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like if I bought 2 drinks, you're looking at like $45.
Jesus.
Like 2 vodka Red Bulls was like $20 a piece.
That's crazy.
A slice of pizza is like $12. So you get like 2 sliced pizza and a drink, you're like $40.
That's why people hate music festivals.
But I understand it for sure. Like it sucks. Why is it so fucking expensive? But again, you're not going there trying to save money. But you're also not going there to like blow. You know, I didn't spend $1,000. I probably spent $800.
Yeah.
Because I'd like buy a round for somebody, or I'd but you got to get that out of your head because it's fucking expensive. That's why it's like fuck it. I might as well spend an extra $1,200 and have a fucking 10 times better. I'm coming for the experience of $1,200 is my difference between having a way better time. In my head, I'm like, all right, that's cool.
You're like, if I'm gonna do it, this might be the only time I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
might as well do it right the first time.
I think I'll go next year again.
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I talking about? Most definitely. Sometimes I get scared that I'm not going to be in California forever because I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Man, I would not mind getting out of here.
I love it. But I don't think it's smart long term.
This 13.5% tax fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Everything sucks.
So I'm just trying to make enough to where I don't have to like, not that I don't have to worry about that, but that's like, it's literally worth it because it's like whatever.
Yeah, but you gotta, to live like a good life that you could live in like the Midwest for a normal salary out here, you got to make a lot.
Yeah, you got to make $250 and up, $350 and up. I think you got to be making over $200,000 a year to enjoy California the way you're supposed to.
Maybe not that much. I bet you could definitely get by with way less than that. I think you're not buying property and doing stuff.
But that's like the only way I think you can make it feasible and stay here forever. Is like, you have to like own things for sure.
Yeah,
because everybody that's here now could afford it. That have their houses and shit are retired. Because back then, it wasn't fucking insane.
That's when that house that was like caddy corner from my first apartment went up for sale.
What was it, like 600 or something?
760, I think is what they sold it for.
Oh, I bet.
But that was like a 2-bedroom or maybe 3-bedroom house with like a backyard, a garage, like all kinds of shit. Right, a block from the ocean. 2 blocks from the ocean.
God, that'd be a sick-ass house.
So that place is probably way more expensive now.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably $1 million.
I bet, at least. Because now they've built that resort downtown.
Damn, we should have went half on that house. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I was still trying to figure out what I was doing. I think that's right when I just started school and shit.
That was a fun time, man.
Yeah.
That was a fun fucking
That's when we were going to Firewater and fucking basement. And we only went to the basement a couple times, but I don't remember both 2 or 3 times that we went. I'm like, what are we doing?
I was getting reckless there for a while. I remember I didn't show up to class one morning. Remember, like that was the night of Firewater. We weren't planning on like going out and getting rowdy. And
we'll go have one drink.
And then we got super fucking rowdy.
We'll go have one drink. That was the night I woke up the next day and I came outside. There's a burrito on the fucking air conditioner.
I think I threw up.
There's a pile of puke. Yeah.
That's fucking shenanigans. Funny, dude. Such good times, man.
Fucking shenanigans. Yeah, living out here is way different than it would be in Indiana.
I just, like driving down like back roads and stuff like that where there's just nothing and it's like January and it's like mucky and shitty out and you're just like, everything just kind of looks like death because everything like seasons happen and like, like everything over here it just always looks good. It's always a good time to go out.
Well, by the beach.
Yeah.
It's such a great spot because it has the variety. You can go to the beach. You can go up to the mountains. You can go up to Palomar. You can go up to freaking Big Bear. You can go skiing and shit. You can go camping. You can go out to the desert. There's a lot of variety here. That's the big draw, obviously. This is like a place people come to vacation to. Going back home or any other real area in the country, there's stuff to do, but not like there is here. There's theme parks. How many theme parks are within 100 miles? A lot.
I don't know, yeah.
A lot. At least 6 major ones that I could think of.
Yeah, everybody went to like Wisconsin Dells or they went to like a location like Florida, everybody's family.
I never heard of Wisconsin Dells until recently. My dad's like, you never heard of that?
That's like a huge thing
like
back
a few years ago, yeah.
It's like a big water park. Like indoor, outdoor. It's like a family, like if you got kids that are 6 or 7 or 10.
I think when I was a kid, I went to Kings Island once in Ohio. Nice. It's a theme park. And I knew about it because it was in a Goosebumps book with the Beast.
Really?
The Beast roller coaster was supposed to be haunted and shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to this theme park I read about.
Yo, those books are fire.
Goosebumps?
Remember those when we were kids?
Those were awesome.
And you could like pick the ending?
Some of them.
Yeah.
There's only a couple like that. There was like 40 like regular ones. They always had the twist at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
It was like the skeleton like with like an apron on cooking outside or some shit and he's on fire.
Yeah, the covers were awesome. I remember like going to the book fair and be like, oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the new Goosebumps book and that Countach poster, please.
Who?
I got a little bit of allowance money. Burning a hole in my pocket.
Mama gave me some spending money.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Goosebumps books were good. What else did I read? There was like we had like an old book set, I think, of like the Hardy Boys or one of those like old school like Detective Kid fucking series.
Yeah.
It was like an old school set. I think that I don't know if it was one of my parents or they just bought it or whatever, but I remember reading those and I was like, oh, that's cool, you know.
Can you remember when you were like that young? Do you remember like your classrooms and shit?
Do you remember your first memory? No. You don't know what your first memory is?
No, there's a memory that I can vividly recall that I assume is my oldest, or one of my oldest, and I just remember like a blue house and like running down a little. I just remember being small and just like I was on a driveway, an asphalt driveway, and there was like one of those blue kiddie pools that had like the yellow ducks printed on it, you know, like the little circle plastic ones. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that's my first memory, and for some reason I just always remember it. I don't know, it just pops in my head every once in a while. I'm always like, is that the very first memory I ever had?
Yeah,
could be.
I think mine is us moving to Tennessee from Indiana, I think Ohio, because we moved from Indiana to Ohio for a little bit and then to Tennessee.
I didn't know you live in Ohio.
For like a year when I was a baby.
Like, do you remember it?
No, but I remember moving. I remember like flashes of like us driving. I remember the trip. I don't remember the trip, but I remember like we're on a trip, we're moving, and then I remember when we first got there, we were in a hotel while we got the house because it was my dad was in the Army. I think he was in the reserves at that time, so he was moving to a reserve base there, so he was getting like everything situated. But I think that's like my first memory. And then we got a house, and I remember asking my mom about this event, and she's like, I can't believe you remember that. She's like, that's crazy. And we had a dog, and I don't remember the dog's name. I don't remember the kind of dog or anything like that. But apparently he would go to my neighbor's house across the street and pee in his garden. And that guy did not like it. And I guess he said something about it one time. I don't remember. And so one of my first memories is him shooting the dog.
Fuck.
I didn't see it, but I remember it happening, and I remember the blood trail and stuff. And he shot our dog. Yeah. So then he got arrested, and I think all his guns got taken away from him and stuff.
Holy
is what my mom
shit.
told me. Yeah. So that's like one of my first memories.
Core memory.
That's crazy.
Dude,
he fucking killed my dog. Fucked up.
That's some Midwest back home shit right there.
That's Tennessee.
Imagine that happening here.
Yeah, that was in Tennessee, man.
Imagine if someone shot someone's dog here.
I bet it happens. Probably not in this area so much, but I bet out East County, more country, something like that could happen.
East County's cringe.
When you're talking about people that are like, this is my property, get off my property. You know what I'm saying? I get it. The guy has every right to be upset that our dog is peeing on his flowers or whatever. You don't fucking shoot somebody's dog in a neighborhood. It wasn't like a neighbor. Well, it was basically a neighborhood.
That's suspect.
Yeah. So that's fucked up. Anyways.
That is fucked up. Especially for a kid.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, people have different, like, first memories. You know, that very, like, when you try to think back and remember, like, what is the very first thing I can recall? You know, and how old? So at that point, I was probably 3, 4, maybe.
Well, I look at, like, my little niece, and I'm like, because she's, like, 7, I think, or 8. Fuck, maybe she's 9. And, no, she's, like, 8. Is she going to remember, like, does she remember, like, when I was 8, I can't remember, like, being 8 years old, like, this is what I was doing.
There's probably events you remember from being 8, but not the day-to-day. You don't remember, like, elementary school?
Yeah.
Like class with your buddies? Certain events that things happened?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
That's when you really start. But if you don't think about it, ever, it starts to fade away.
Oh, shit.
There we are, digging them back up.
Oh, shit.
I've had a lot of people come on the podcast, the military guys come on the podcast and say that afterwards they thought about a lot of stuff they hadn't thought about for a long time because it dug up so many like memories they hadn't really, you know, just kind of went over. Not necessarily bad, but like good and bad, like memories with their buddies and shit.
It's fun. It's cooler to think about the Marine Corps now and events that happen now that I'm out, because now you see like the silliness of like NJPs and silliness of like, I get the importance of them, but like when at ANGLICO, Z got like a public NJP.
Oh, really?
For driving drunk.
I don't think I was there for that.
He got a DUI.
Bummer.
I think it was Z. But the way that it was done, and they had like a table outside, and it was all like real.
Yeah.
I'm like, how silly is this?
I've seen that before.
Thinking of it now, I'm like, they did it in MCT. They were like cutting people's McMap belts off of them.
Oh, wow.
And like ripping them out of the things for when they got NGP'd. One of the things they were doing was taking away their.
Oh, yeah. You have to
belt.
re-earn the belt.
So like the kids would have to wear like their web belt and shit. And I was like, that's so fucking stupid.
Fucking make way. Third phase.
Yeah. And it's funny that it's like a punishment that we could do to other people. Like now that I'm out and remembering, because when you're in, you're kind of brainwashed.
Yeah, but don't you think that, like, say getting an NJP in the military is probably a better alternative than getting a DUI charge out in town?
We also got a DUI.
Oh, was it on base?
It was on.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I think a lot of times, don't they refer it to the base? Or do you have to deal with both?
You have to deal with both, I think. Yeah, for sure. For sure, you have to deal with both.
I think some stuff they refer to the base. They're like, we'll let the military take care of it. They release them to the military.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of think that that's what it should be, because it's like, if I got to be a Marine 24 goddamn 7, I get it, but like let the military handle it. So like I can say it's a perk of being in the military, but like, come on.
Some punishments are going to be worse in the military for sure.
Yeah, but it's not going to affect you in your personal life.
Yeah, no.
You know, like once you get out, it's not like...
Yeah, speeding ticket on base, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, they're like...
There's no points on your license.
I think there is
doesn't
now.
know about it.
I think they switched it like 2 years ago. One of my buddies was talking about it, and everybody was like, that's fucked.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
They're like, that's just not cool. Like, you're...
I remember one time I got pulled over in Polgus. They had camp guard radar people and pulling them over, and this guy just like, pull over. He's like standing in the road like, you pull over. And I'm like, what? And I pull over, and I had Smith with me. I had Paul Smith with me, and he's like, what's your name? I was like, Paul Smith. He's like, what? And I was like, no, I'm just playing. It's Justin Kramer. And he's like, do you know why you're getting pulled over? I was like, no, for what? He's like, because you were speeding. I was like, no, I wasn't. And he's like, yeah, you were. We have a radar detector or whatever. Here's this, not a ticket, but like some kind of chit, basically, with like the sergeant, like the regimental sergeant major's information or some shit on it. And I'm like, what do I do with this? He's like, honestly, I have no idea. I was like, so you're really just wasting my time right now? And he's like, yeah, kind of. I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, that sounds like the Marine Corps.
Imagine if your neighborhood's like, hey, people are speeding. Set up a checkpoint right here. And then when you stop them, you're like, here's your ticket. And it's like, don't do that again.
It's like campus
sad
police.
Face.
That's like, I like that thing. I reposted that thing that you're talking about where you're like, the retention rate would be basically a lot better if you just like let us do our work and just leave me alone.
Yeah, with all the stupid shit.
Just so
some
much
stuff
stupid
matters.
shit.
There's some little things that matter, but we've made it where every little thing matters. And not every little thing does matter. You know, like I think my example in that video clip was like the fucking font size of a document. Like the sergeant major or first sergeant will kick it back because it has the incorrect spacing or something like that. You tabbed once and not twice. Like, do it again. It's like, dude, I need this paperwork to get this guy to this school or this or whatever. And you're just needlessly holding up the process. It literally has zero effect on anything.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You know, it's, what do you want to call it? Process improvement or something like that. But I remember being at ANGLICO, and when I went to the MU, I came back from JRTC, and I checked out of ANGLICO the next day. And then the next day I had to check into the MU by the day after that. So I came out of the field where I'd been gone for weeks. And the ADJ at ANGLICO was holding me up for some DTS thing that I had no idea what I could do with it because it had something to do with the Army because of JRTC and shit like that. And literally until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she would not sign off on my paperwork to give me a checkout sheet to start doing my fucking checkout stuff. And then she kept like, no, you need to fix this. And I'm like, I can't do anything about it. I don't know what you want me to do. And then at 2 o'clock, she realized like, oh, it's something the Army has to take care of. And I'm like, you just wasted my fucking time for no reason. I'm already just got out of the field. Now I have to check out. Then I got to go over there and check in by tonight. And you're wasting my fucking time. And then I got there and they're like, I did it on a Friday. That was when the check-in date was, on purpose. I was like, all right, I'm going to go and check in with the duty at 6:30. Because I'm like, nobody's going to be there. Show up, staff meeting going on. All the staff heads and shit are there. And Major Graham, who was the fires officer, comes out and he's like, "Oh, hey, you the new fires chief?" And I was like, "Yeah, what are you guys doing here?" And he's like, "Welcome to the fucking Mew, bro." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "We're getting on ship tomorrow." And I was like, "Who's we?" And he's like, "You're coming too. We're going to, it was one of those exercises with the Japanese for 2 weeks." So I just got back from JRTC, checked out of the unit, checked into that unit, and then got on ship for 2 weeks. And I was just like, dude.
Motherfucker. Dude. It's funny because I know the pain of that. I know where you're just like.
And there's nothing for me to do. I'm like, you're bringing me at the last minute to do what? Like, you guys have already know what you're doing. The exercise is happening. Like, so I literally was basically a bystander. And yeah.
That sounds god awful. Because like when the like Big Daddy government's telling you to do it and you're in the military, it's like there's nothing I can do. It's not like you can talk Major Graham out of not making you go. It's like it's higher than like it. There's no point.
The expectation is, oh, your fire chief's here. Why is he not here? Why is he not on ship?
Yep.
Because if I didn't go with them and go down to the San Diego that next day and get on ship and go from there, they would have been like, get on the fucking helo, get on one of the resupply LCACs or something like that.
Yep.
You know, like,
too bad you're getting on one way.
Either way, we're fucking you, bro. You're getting on ship.
Yeah.
It's like the ship is always gonna pull you. It's like a planet with super bad gravity, and you're trying to get away from it at all times. Everybody's plan on ship is to try to get off ship somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there's an exercise? Well, they need me there because I specialize in this, and I'm essential to the efficiency of it happening on the ground. And you're just like, please get me off ship. Please get me off ship. I don't give a fuck if I sit in the desert in Africa. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything was always changing. You think something good was going, and then you get fucked, and something else happens.
The whole thing sucked because it was just like one thing after another. I had these like hits. I was just like, I'm getting kicked left and right. And that's when I don't want to keep bringing it up on every episode, but that's when I decided to get out. And it was just like, it's not worth it to me anymore. Like, they're treating me like shit right now. Because at the time when I was in JRTC, they still didn't even know if I was going to go to the 11th Mew. There was like meth level discussions on what Mew I was going to. Am I going to the 11th Mew and deploying with them, doing the workup and deployment with them? Or am I going, I think it was the 15th Mew, who's already out the door. They just left on their deployment. They're going to fly me ahead to like Spain or something to meet up with them when they get there. You know, and that was like, what are we going to have them do? What are we going to have them do? So I'm over here not knowing, also with shitty comms because I'm out in fucking Fort Polk, Louisiana, being miserable. And then as I come back and I'm still not really knowing what's going on, they're like, no, dude, get on ship. And I'm just like, fuck, man. So I was like, it's not worth it, man. You're treating me like whatever I get it. Whatever you want doesn't matter. It's the military. But that's bullshit at some point.
Yeah. At
some point when you start looking at careerists that are putting their personal time into this and it literally fucks up their personal lives, like some consideration should be taking place. But whatever. Whatever, man. They'll just keep losing people. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I mean, and they're seeing it now. Their retention suck. Like, people are miserable.
It's the military.
It's the military, dude.
That is the military.
It's always miserable, but there's always there's nothing worse than somebody that just makes shit more miserable for no reason. Yeah,
if you were to try to put the military into words, it's kind of just that. You're just doing shit that is just so unnecessary, but you just gotta fucking do it because some idiot's telling you to do it.
I remember when I was a boot and I wanted to go on leave. I was a mechanic, and this was before smartphones and whatever. And if we wanted to put in a leave request, we had to put it in writing, and we also had to MapQuest it. We had to submit our leave plan with a MapQuest. And our unit's stupid fucking rule was you couldn't drive for more than like 3 or 4 hours straight. So you had to plan on your leave plan. I'm stopping at this time to get gas and stretch. And your MapQuest had to match up with it and everything. And if you fucked up one of those points, you had to go back and redo it all. And the timings had to be just right for no reason other than to waste people's time and to fucking maybe provide some cover for somebody saying, oh, we made sure they did everything. They said they were going to stop every 4 hours and get gas and stretch. Like, shut the fuck up. No one believes this. It's all pencil whip bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, if you get rid of the pencil whip bullshit, it would be better.
Can't. It's the military.
The bureaucracy's thick, man.
Hopefully the Marine Corps will still do well, though.
I think the military as a whole is having some growing pains right now because some people's realities and the fucked up things that they're experiencing are being put on public display through social media.
Yeah.
You know, hey, if I get raw chicken at the chow hall, I just got to take a photo of it and send it to a couple big pages and they'll post it and be like, look at what they're serving these troops. You know, why do they hate the troops? It could be that one piece. Maybe that one piece was undercooked, but most of the time it's not. These guys have legitimate, gripes.
Yeah, I remember some of the barracks in Horno were so fucked up, and they would shove like 3 people in there. Just disgusting.
The 10th Marines barracks were basically the worst ones I saw while I was in. When I was over there, I wasn't in the barracks, but the in-street barracks were just, unless the regiment had like upgraded new ones. But all the batteries, their barracks were like, there was no linen. You know, I remember we got a new battery gunny one time, and he's like, he just came off the drill field. No non-issued linen allowed. Because, people go by, set up their own rooms and stuff like that. And then the barracks managers come out and be like, Gunny, we don't have enough to give everybody. So they did like change the rule back.
How fucking stupid is that rule anyway?
Yeah, like, hey, man, let dudes live, man. No one goes to your house to tell you what sheets to put on your fucking bed.
True, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Like, let a dude live. Barracks should be more like apartments. That way it's responsibility. And when you sign out of that apartment, anything you broke, you have to pay for. You know what I'm saying? And the government, it's easy for the government. They'll just take it out of your paycheck. Like, quit making sergeants to barracks managers who are 22-year-old kids that don't know anything and they're not going to piss their buddies off and say the barracks are fucked up or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. Anyways.
Oh, my Christ.
Anyways, dude.
Oh, fuck. What a time.
We don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
Hell no. Hell no. Would you do it again?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You'd have to.
You have to, man. I mean, I wouldn't take the same path, maybe. Well, I don't know. Every path is different, and you never know what you're going to get, depending on what job you pick.
Yeah. I got a choice to choose when I left the Marine Corps, or no, when I joined, if I wanted to go a week early or not. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally just choosing 2 completely different paths in the Marine Corps right now. 100%. And I ended up going a week early because I was just like, well, I have an opportunity to change it. So maybe
just change your whole destiny.
Literally. Yeah. I wouldn't even be sitting right here right now. I wouldn't know you.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I would. Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, and it doesn't matter the job. There's always there's always somebody in every job that has some kind of cool story because they got this really cool opportunity while they're in that job.
I just thought more of like the people that I meet in the Marine Corps, my whole like experience is going to be completely fucking different. My boot camp, MCT, school, all that stuff, if I went a week later, would be a completely different group of people.
Yep.
So it's kind of nutty to think about that. It's kind of scary when I think about it. I'm like, that's fucking nuts. Because I enjoy the path. I got to go to, both units were so cool. The people I met were cool. Like CLB sucked, but Japan I got the best, my best friends still are from there. And then ANGLICO, which is the fucking bomb. Mm-hmm. No pun. But
just these like awesome experiences.
Yeah, and I got 2 super unique experiences out of the Marine Corps that I didn't have to do any like your baseline. If you join the Marine Corps, this is probably what's going to happen to you. I got to do completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be attached to a MU in Japan. Got to go to ANGLICO. From there, we went to all those fun places.
Tons of countries, tons of ports.
It's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for like adventure. The Marine Corps is probably why I live out here. Obviously, it's why I live in California. But it's probably why I'm okay with, because it just set me, that's the most adventure. Before that, I just lived in a farm town, like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I started just traveling and going and moving. And like, that's what set me up for now. When I got out, I just want to keep traveling and keep seeing things. And like,
yeah, once you see the world, you're like, man, I want to see some more of that.
Fuck yeah.
There's other crazy shit out there.
Hell yeah, dude.
What's your bucket list place? Where's like somewhere that you want to go before you die?
Man, I think Bora Bora would be cool. But it's kind of, I think it'd be cool.
I think it's cool.
It's kind of touristy, but it's like that's something I want to see. I'd also like love to go to Bali or go to like I don't know. I've always wanted to go to like a jungle, like a real jungle, but I'm scared as fuck.
You were in fucking Japan, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I didn't do jungle warfare, which I want to go to a jungle and like 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 the Amazon rainforest or some shit.
Or like Costa Rica or something.
Yeah, but I'm kind of afraid of like getting hit with like a botfly or something, and those things like burrow into your skin. There's a lot of weird insects and bugs and shit out there that can like fuck you up.
I remember being in like middle school or something like that and reading. You know, how you'd get those like not newsletters, but kind of like magazines for kids at school.
Yeah.
You know, they'd give them out like once a month or some shit like that. I remember one of the stories, and one of them was talking about a like resort or like a hotel or something in like Costa Rica or somewhere like that. It was all in the trees. It was built in the trees in the jungle. And I was like, oh, that'd be so fucking cool. Like, that'd be super sick to check out.
Yep. My friends went to Tulum and stayed in like a tree house.
Yeah.
In Tulum. And the pictures were fucking sick. But there was like bugs, mosquitoes. It was hot. But like at night, they're like, you're literally like no shit in like a forest in a sick ass looking tree house.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the moments. Just like going to Coachella, there was probably moments where you're like, damn, I'm tired of walking. Damn, it's kind of hot out. Damn, I don't want to pay this again. But the cool moments were fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like living in a treehouse would be that'd be a cool experience.
I've thought about just getting a van, buying a van and converting it and just doing the van life for a bit, but
get one of those Mercedes like whatever.
The big Sprinter vans.
Yeah, they do there's so many conversions and stuff that you can do to those.
Mm-hmm. It's expensive, but it's like I could own it. I could literally stop just throwing my money away on rent.
Yeah.
It's getting fucking...
Technically, you'd be homeless, right?
I'd be one of them.
Homeless vet.
Watch you find me. I'm all, homeless vet. I saw a plumbing truck the other day that said disabled veteran owned. And I'm like, fuck you. Why are you writing that on the side? Why are you using that as a...
Yeah.
It's so lame. Because what I'm assuming is that he's probably a disabled veteran from like 10% tinnitus. You know, like...
Oh,
that's just my assumption.
That's because we're cynical, one.
Either way.
And two, we know so many scumbags from the military.
Either way, it's just to use that as like an advertisement. I'm like, come on, man.
I still don't. I'm not like a veteran discount. I don't like it. I don't like standing up at a baseball game when they're like, oh, stand up and clap. I'm like, I don't do
any of that.
No.
I do. If they got a discount on there, I'll totally slap that thing on there. I don't ask for it. If it's something that's like, oh, and we have veteran, I got you 10% off. I'm like, oh, sick. Cool.
Yeah, I don't ever ask.
Yeah.
I'm going, do you guys have a discount?
Excuse
no?
me,
Oh, I guess you don't care about veterans. Dick.
Yeah. I especially out here in San Diego, there's so many military. I forget sometimes the guys that I work with, they all grew up together. So like they're like high school buddies and all that shit. And I forget that they see it from the opposite side. Like they had to grow up with a military base right next to them, which I guess you did as well.
Do they like it or not like it?
They're indifferent. Usually they
I didn't grow up next to a military base.
Usually they just say that like just fucking dumbass Marines, which is so true.
Fucking Marines.
Right, yeah.
Taking all our girls.
Just getting hammered and just acting a fool.
There are some idiots out there that make us all look bad.
Oh, yeah.
They all go down to the alley
in
yeah. Carlsbad.
Hell yeah.
And dance and fucking get in fights.
It's got to be tough right now to find people to join the military. The group of people that are joining are probably much different than like masks and all that shit, dude. Who's joining during COVID?
I don't think they're still doing that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, imagine deciding you want to go to boot camp during COVID.
Yeah.
And knowing that you're going to have to wear a mask.
Dude, that was what a weird time, right? They had to go in and go to like a hotel for like 2 weeks, and they'd have to be in like the green on green PT gear and like basically sit in a room all day long and then do like accountability real quick outside their room.
It's fucking nuts.
Like count off real quick and then go back in your room for 2 weeks. Make sure nobody's sick.
It's fucking nuts.
What a weird thing, man.
It'd be a terrible experience.
I would not have wanted to be in the military during all that.
No, either would I. Fuck no.
It would have been, I don't know, it would have been a tough time, I think. I would have been, I don't know, man. I think we got out at the right time. You know, there's like times where it's like, man, it'd be cool to still be in like some of the things that they're doing. And there's like things that, you know, opportunities. But at the same time, I haven't had to like leave my kid for an extended period of time. We get to do stuff together all the time.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize how much it sucks when you have to fucking, like, when you have a family, like when you're a careerist and you've been in for a while and you're like driving home and you pull up into the driveway knowing you got to go in and say, hey, I'm leaving again.
Yeah.
Leaving again. 7 more months, which also means all the training to go up to that, which is months gone.
Yeah, it's basically like a year.
You know, that's tough, man. It's tough. It gets old, and it's like at some point it's got to be like, what's in it for me? You know, why
Especially
do I?
the Marine Corps.
You know, because you're getting. It's not like, you know, I talked about it before, but like the micromanagement and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like too much. You're just like, if it's all bullshit, if it's constant, just bullshit, then why would I want to stay here?
Yeah.
Why don't I just go do something else? You know.
A lot of people are afraid.
Or it's like, hey, if I'm going to work in an office, you know, if I'm getting promoted up so high that I'm basically an office worker now because I'm staff, then why not get out and work in an office where I can like wear whatever I want to work or, you know, do whatever, just like live a normal life. You know, I don't have to come in and get yelled at because my camis aren't pressed or something like that or something stupid. My haircut, it's not a fresh haircut on Monday or whatever, you know, like.
Yeah. No,
like the office I work in now, I can come in basically in whatever I want. And we're a professional office. But I literally have never seen my boss wear anything but flip-flops. You know what I'm saying? It's like super Southern California, laid back, shorts, t-shirt, fucking.
That's so cool.
It's super chill. You know, there's offices like that out there. It's not all like people think it's all suits and ties and shit. It's like, depending on what you're doing, you know. So why not work in an office like that?
Yeah.
Where that's going on compared to somewhere where I'm getting yelled at because of one thing or another, or I haven't done my fucking IA training, or
I do have to wear a uniform every day still, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, that's different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, man.
Shit.
But I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get going.
I don't know how many cuts are in this. Sorry to everybody that made it all the way through for all the cuts. Technical issues from running it up, running live. You know, we always have these issues.
Yeah, now that I got to work tomorrow. Like I said, I switched my schedule around, so having Sundays off is the greatest fucking thing ever. But when you have to work a Monday, when you have it in forever, you're like, oh man, I forgot how much this sucks.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see you on the 5.
Yeah, you actually will.
Yeah, we'll probably run into each other.
Right.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, Fairbear_89 on Instagram. That's me, baby.
Are you on TikTok? Do you
No.
do that? You don't want to give China your information?
No.
Yeah.
And it's way too easy to get sucked in, dude.
I mean, there's no difference between TikTok and Reels.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? So it's like, why do I need both when all the good TikToks come over to Reels anyways?
Not lying.
Yeah. So anyways, people, like I said before, support independent creators. I did just start a Patreon, so go in there and check out Former Action Guys. Make a donation. That'd be cool. I'm keeping the audio version of the podcast ad-free as long as I can, as long as people are, helping support the show. It'd be great. I could get better equipment so we don't have these fucking issues all the time and stuff like that. So please do that. Check out my website, jkramergraphics.com, anglicoshop.com, both of those. My Instagram is @formeractionguys and @formeractionnews, and that's it.
Deuces.